I don't know what to fucking do for the intro this time, bro. There's just no thoughts in my head today. Shit. Alright, fuck it, I'm just gonna start the video. Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Shadow. We're back again for another tutorial video. This week we're going to be covering how to make an Aries type beat. This is something that's been requested a couple of times and something that I've been putting off because I really wanted to make sure it was perfect. And in the past couple of weeks, I've sort of, really perfected my style of Aries type beats. So yeah, I'm really excited to make this video, guys. It's been like, I think 2 weeks, maybe even 3 since I've posted or recorded a video, like any of that shit. I've been hella busy with like finals and shit, so I haven't been able to do any of this shit recently. So I'm really excited to get back into making these videos for you guys. I'm gonna try to get 2 or 3 more videos out before 2020 ends. So if you guys like this video, we're gonna try to get it to 50 to 100 likes in the first week. If you like this video and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I try to post these videos every Saturday. I have a playlist on my channel with every tutorial on it too that you could check out. I'll link it in the description. And with that being said, guys, let's get right into the video. Alright, guys, so starting off with an Aries type beat, we're gonna set the BPM to 134. There's no fucking reason why I set it to that number. It's just the sample BPM. Yeah, Aries kind of has a pretty big variety of BPMs that he'll use, but I find that most of his BPMs fall in like the mid to high range, where it's like something like 120 to 150, maybe even like 160, 170 sometimes. That's literally basically like every fucking BPM right there. Whatever. But yeah, guys, now that we have that out of the way, we're gonna open up the channel rack and see what sounds we use for this beat. Alright, so oh my fucking god. Okay, so it might seem like there's a lot of sounds in this beat. There is sort of, but there really isn't. Like, it's not as complex as you'd really think it is. So yeah, guys, starting off with the drums, we have these 2 claps that I use, this clean snare and this generic clap. I think the clean snare is from this drum kit right here that I have called the Aries drum kit by R2 Remedy, I think. Shout out him. I just got this drum kit when I was making this beat because I was like, maybe I'll find some Aries sounds, and I fucked with the snare. So yeah, that's where that snare came from. Generic clap is from the Gucci kit. Then I have this basic hi-hat. I think this might be from the Aries kit too. Then the lo-fi hi-hat, super quiet, but also I think from the Aries kit. Then I have this open hi-hat. I have this loud bang snare. This Aries static, again from the Aries kit. Wow, static. This hard as fuck kick. This snare 17. I think this is from the 100 gex kit. Snare 15. Yes, these are from the 100 gex kit. And then finally, in here, I'll record. Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck was that? Get the fuck out of here. Actually, I think that's it for the drums. Alright, guys, now that I got the drums out of the way, I'm going to cover the sample, which I found on Looperman. It's going to sound like this. Yeah, pretty Aries vibe. I'll talk about this more after we're out of the channel rack. And then, guys, I have this instance of Serum. For the 808, the bass, I did use Serum. I'm sorry for the people who were looking to make Aries type beats with like free sounds and stuff like that. Pretty much everything in this beat is free besides the bass. You could easily replicate this though in other free plugins. You could definitely find 808s that sound really similar to this, but basically this is what the 808 sounds like in this beat. I don't really know how to describe it, but like, you hear an Aries 808, an Aries 808, and this is what I was trying to replicate in this beat. And then the last thing I have in this beat is this Mad Oregon preset in Tyrell N6. This is a free plugin. I'll link it in the description, and it sort of sounds like an Aries Oregon that he'd use in his beats. Yeah, Aries vibes. Obviously, it's an Aries type beat. The fuck. Alright, guys, now that we're done with the sound selection, we're going to talk about the melody that I used. I played a little bit of the melody before, but as you guys heard, it's just a Looperman melody. I think I searched just like literally guitar. I just went for these sort of like plucky acoustic chords or whatever you want to fucking call it that I found on Looperman. And then I have 2 more instances of it where I reversed it, pitched it up an octave, and then panned it to the left and the right to add like this, sort of like fullness to the beat. And it's going to sound like this. So the main melody is playing linearly. I don't know if that's the right word. in your headset, and then on the left and the right all the way you have these top melodies of the original melody. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking about this now because I'm making myself sound stupid. But yeah, those are the main melodies, and then there's one more melody that's gonna sound like this. Okay, so guys, basically the way this worked is I have the original pattern, I think, right here. Yeah, this is it right here. I'll play it for you guys real quick. My best tip for melodies is to just really practice and do it over and over again. And what I like to do is turn this little button on so that you could actually play your melodies with the keyboard, and just fuck around on the keyboard. I find that it's a lot easier to make good sounding melodies when you just honestly press random keys on the keyboard until you find something that sounds good. You don't always have to do that. I usually don't, but sometimes I will. For beginners, that might be a little bit better. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for all the melodies. Now we're going to get into how I did the drums for this beat. Alright, guys, so starting off with the most simple part of the beat, the clap. I'll play it real quick. Claps hit in the same spot pretty much every beat. But yeah, this is what the clap sounds like. And then this is what the other clap sounds like. Basically layered those, you know, it's just sort of two different sounds. I didn't want to just use a regular clap, and with a lot of Aries type beats, he'll use sort of snare sounding snares for his claps in place of his claps. He'll completely replace a clap with a snare, so that's why I did that. That's the claps. Now I'm going to move on to the hi-hats. Alright, guys, off rip, the hi-hats might seem intimidating, but I swear they're really not as intimidating as you'd think. I'm going to play the pattern for you and then talk about what I really did to create this pattern. I guess so now that I played it back, I realized it just is not that complicated at all. But basically, two-step hi-hat pattern, and then right as the second bar hits, I just did this roll that's like, because you know, it sounds good, and I'm pretty sure I've heard Aries do like rolls really specific to this. Could be wrong, I don't know. And then the only other thing I did is at the very end, I just, you know, did another roll, and then I did these really tight rolls here. And what I did with them is I panned one to the right and one to the left. Again, just for some fullness of the beat. When you're making an Aries type beat, it's really good to put the time and effort into the little details, because that's something that Aries has done with his music literally since the beginning, and it will really make your Aries beats excel. Alright, guys, this is the second hi-hat pattern. I used it more as just panned hi-hats, and it's almost like a perk. It's not, but like when I'm gonna play it and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Basically, the purpose of this hi-hat was to sort of fill the gaps where there weren't rolls or any panned notes in the other hi-hat pattern. And I went for a more sort of EQ'd out lo-fi sounding hat because I didn't want it to sound like, oh, it's just the same hi-hat pattern. I wanted to sort of sound like old, no, what the fuck, I don't know. I wanted to have sort of like a gritty vibe, and I panned them all the way to the left and the right. This is what the panning looks like. They're panned all the way to the left and the right. And basically, yeah, not much else I could say about it. That's going to do it for the hi-hats. Alright, guys, this is the 808 for the beat. Now, before I play the pattern, I'm going to go through... Oh, what the fuck? I'm going to actually go through how I made this in Serum. Serum, sponsor me. Not really, but, like, if you want to, that would be fucking sick. But, yeah, guys, basically, the way that I made this 808 is I went to this drop-down menu here, and I clicked bass. And I select bass DSKPRC. Shout out to Bryce Bishop. I don't know if you watch my videos, but if you're watching this, shout out you, bro. You should go check out his channel. He's the reason that I found this preset. I didn't do exactly what he did, but he basically made a video breaking down a break-ins 808, and this is the preset he used. So basically, now that I have this preset, I'm going to turn the sub bass on. I'm going to make it -2 octaves, and I'm going to turn the portamento on to always and put the knob to 123 milliseconds. That way it will have a slight slide to it, and it won't just be super like boxy, you know, it'll like slide up and down just a little bit. Then I'm going to go into the effects. I'm going to turn on hyper dimension and distortion. In the hyper dimension, I'm going to turn off hyper all the way on the mix, and then for dimension, I'm going to turn the mix up to 15% and the size up to 15% as well. And basically what this is going to do is sort of make your 808 slightly pan left and right, but it's almost like a delay pan. I can't really describe it because panning 808s doesn't sound good, but like when you use this, like it does, it just sort of sounds like more full. And then for the distortion, I use the Diode 1 preset, and I put the drive to 26% and the mix to 25%. This little button right here is set to off. I don't really know what all of these do, but this is what I did in Serum. Normally I go over the mixing afterwards, but since the 808 is just the peak of Aries type beats, and this beat especially, I'm gonna go over the mixing for just the 808 right now. First, I put a fruity fast distortion with the default setting. I turned the mix knob down to 7%. Then I did another fruity fast distortion with the heat preset. Turned it down to fucking 8%. Then I put a soft clipper on it. This was for the kick. Then I put a parametric EQ. This is just for automation clips, so ignore that. And then I have another fast distortion with the default preset, 19%, and one more fruity fast distortion heat preset, and it's on 6%. I know I use a shit ton of fast distortion, but I really turned them down and just changed the knobs a bunch until I made a sound that I thought was fitting of an Aries type beat. Is it perfect? Probably not. I don't think layering a shit ton of fast distortions is the best way to go about it, but I think that the 808s sounded good. So now that I went over all of this, guys, I will play the 808 pattern for you. For Aries 808s, you just kind of want to ride it out, you know, do some like mid tones, high pitched notes, low pitched notes, just switch them around, do some sliding octave up notes, do some sliding octave down notes, just sort of make it fun, make it all over the place, and just make sure it's really distorted and gritty. Okay, after the 808, guys, I always follow it up with the kick pattern. What I say in every one of my beats, for me personally, I follow the kick with the 808, or I follow the 808 with the kick. I make the 808 and the kick hit in the same spot, and I'll usually make the kick hit in between some of the 808 notes. Alright, so the first thing I did for the perks is a static sound. Just hits literally at the beginning of the pattern like this. Wow, static. Then I have these two patterns right here that I'm going to solo out. This is what these two patterns sound like together. Yeah, basically snare 17 and snare 15 from the 100 gex kit. Again, I'm going to link all the kits that I used in the description. But basically, this was sort of just, I use these sort of as like a snare and perk combined. They're just meant to work with the clap in combination. And then the last thing I did for the perks is not actually a perk. It's just this lo-fi hi-hat, open hat, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it just hits like this. And if you notice, what I do is each note changes from left to right in the pan. I don't pan it all the way left to right. I only pan it like probably like 25%. Yeah, guys, lastly, ignore the fact that this snare is in the bass section. I tried organizing this beat, but I fucked it up a little bit. Basically, this is the like main 100 gex break-ins snare noise. That sounds like someone's banging two fucking pots together. It sounds fire, but, you know, basically... I make the first snare hit really hard, just so like when the beat drops, it's just like, you know, really like climactic, and like, you know, you just are really into it. And then the other three are gonna hit more quietly, and these only hit every other clap. But yeah, guys, that does it for every melody and drum in the beat. Now I'm gonna go over the structuring, we're gonna move on to the mixing, and we're gonna wrap this video up. So with the structuring, if you noticed, I politely labeled everything so that if I fuck up, you guys will still understand what I'm going for. So, intro, 8 bars. Every hook, 16 bars. Every verse, fucking math. 8, 16, 24 bars. Basically, the hook is going to play 3 times. The verse is going to play twice. There's going to be an intro and an outro. The intro and outro, the intros in my beats are 8 bars usually. The outros are usually 16 bars. Hooks are 16 bars. And the verses are either 16 bars or 24 bars, depending on what you want to do. And I do this thing in the intros of my beats. Right before the beat hits, this like 1 bar right here, I'll reverse the melody, and I will EQ the 808 pattern, and I'll play it at the beginning of the beat, so it's like a rising effect, and it sounds like this. Everything plays for the hook. I have these 2 noises, this riser and impact, from the 100 gex kits. Yeah, basically, I just make these hit right before the hook every time, you know, 3 times throughout the beat. For each verse, I bring out the high ends of the 808, so it's sort of just in the background, and then I only play the main melody, and I sort of bring sounds in just to move with the beat, and then that's going to repeat. The hooks and verses are going to be the same throughout the beat. You can add more variation if you want, that's up to you, but that's just what I did for this beat. And the outro is 16 bars, where I just slowly take out the sounds, you know, the hi-hats slowly fade out. The perks slowly fade out. Even this like counter melody or whatever, it fades out in the second half. And for the 808 EQ, you can see I just like drop it in and out for the hooks and verses. And then the last thing is a master volume automation clip for the outro, because for my outros, I like to have the beat just like fade out to nothingness and then it's over. Yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for the structuring. Now we're gonna move on to the mixing real quick. All right, guys, for the mixing, nothing on the master track. For most of the drums, I didn't do anything. I labeled every sound that I actually had any mix on. So I already went over the 808. We don't have to worry about that. For the kick, nothing. I just side chained, quote unquote. I know this isn't actual side chaining, but this is just what I do for my kicks because I think it makes it sound better. Turn the kick way down because it was hitting super fucking hard because it was being affected by all the distortion on the 808. For the loud bang snare in the 100 gex kit, I pretty fast distortioned it with the default setting, put it to 26%, and then I did a sound goodizer on the A setting like this, just so it wouldn't, I wanted it to hit hard as fuck, basically, and that's why I did this. For the like melody, the counter melody that I created in Tyrell N6, I EQ'd out the low ends, added a delay with these time settings, turned it down to 17% in the mix, and then fruity reverb, turned it down to 30% in the mix. Default settings, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. For the reverse melody, when I just pitched up the original melody and reversed it, EQ'd out a lot of the low end. Reverbed it, default settings didn't change at all, and then I actually destructured it with the lo-fi preset. Basically, it's gonna like bit crush it. Doesn't make that much of a difference, but I thought it sounded pretty nice. That's gonna do it for the mixing, guys, and for the video altogether. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, don't. Remember to hit the subscribe button. I try to drop these videos every week on Saturday. Yeah, guys, have a good day or night. Peace.